Hello fellow coffee botherers, in this video I'm going to be talking once again about the Meraki Espresso machine. Ace. It's revolutionary. That water. This is part 2 of my Meraki review. If you didn't see part 1, why are you here, you silly goose? You might want to click on the link in the description or the pinned comment to go and watch that first. Very quick recap. This is a dual boiler espresso machine with a time-more integrated grinder. Grind by weight, built-in brew scales for stock by weight so you can program the desired brew ratio, digital touchscreen, RFID scanner and tons more. Watch part 1 for the full specs. Now you have questions that I didn't answer in part 1, so let's answer them. What's the steam wand like? Ace. It's revolutionary. Honestly, I'm amazed by it. By far the best steam wand I've used on an integrated grinder machine, and one of the best I've used full stop. It's not just me saying this either. My son Josh, who's a barista trainer and competing latte artist, was amazed by it. If you want, you can go to his website, millstonebaristas.com. I don't know if I actually said in the main video, but that's the main part of the wand is no burn. So you can hold it, but there's that part. Being stainless steel does get hot, so don't hold it there. But you can touch the main bit. The steam texture it produces is amazing, and it's probably the easiest steam wand I've used in terms of manual steaming. You don't have to steam manually though. If you want to, you can just do this. Hang on. See? Press the button. It will just stop when it gets to the desired temperature. See? It's like that.
What's the texture of that milk look like, huh?
That water. Where were we? If you use the screen to start the steam, it'll automatically stop at the set temperature, like it just did when it was steaming water. If you start it manually, it'll still show the temperature, but you have to stop it manually too. What's the espresso workflow like? Really impressive. You can just set the dose and the yield once. For example, set the dose to 18 grams and the yield to 36 grams if you're after a 1:2 ratio, and then just go in and change it whenever you want to. So each shot is just a case of pressing grind, dosing the portafilter, tamping, locking in the portafilter, and pressing start. Or you can do it manually with the brew pedal. And if you do that, it still uses whatever pre-infusion you've got it set to. What are the pre-infusion settings? This has changed since the prototypes. On the production model, there's currently a range of 5 to 15 seconds of pre-infusion and a bar setting of 3 bars or 4 bars. What are the temperature settings? Brew temperature from 85 to 96 degrees Celsius in 1 Celsius increments, or 190 Fahrenheit to 205 Fahrenheit in 1 Fahrenheit increments. Group heater from 30 to 70 degrees Celsius in 10 Celsius increments, or 86 to 158 degrees Fahrenheit in 18 Fahrenheit increments. There are 4 steam power options: gentle, mild, medium and strong. Obviously I've gone straight to strong because I'm hardcore. You can set the milk temperature from 45 to 70 degrees Celsius in 1 Celsius increments, or 110 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit in 1 Fahrenheit increments. What's the interface like? Brilliant. It's really intuitive. I've not really had to look at the manual. Just swipe down and you'll see that all the icons around the centre are fairly obvious, and anything that isn't in there is in the centre settings menu. What's the espresso like? I've had some really good shots with this, mainly sticking to medium dark roasts, and I found it really easy to dial in, and I've been impressed with the shot quality when I've been dialed in. I've been mainly somewhere between grind size 7 and 11 with medium dark roasts, so there could be issues grinding fine enough for really light roasts, although you can tweak the brew temperature and the dose and the ratio if you're struggling to dial in purely by grind size. And I'm kind of ad-libbing there because I've not tried any really light roast because I don't want to break it, but I will do that after I've done this, because if I break it then, after I've done the first 2 videos, it's not the end of the world. Speaking of coffee beans, this would be a good time to hear from our sponsor. The sponsor this week was supposed to be a new anti-baldness cream, but they didn't want to pay. So this week's sponsor is me. My coffee beans from the Coffee Works are freshly roasted. We have a growing range, currently 20 different coffees, and they're mega. I would say that, but what do you think? Only one way to find out. Use a discount code YT25 at cworks.co.uk for 25% off your first order. If you disagree, that's fine, although make sure you read through the recipe and dialing in guides. Back to the Meraki. What's the Coffee Sense feature? There's an RFID scanner on the top, and the idea is that they'll work with roasters to put an RFID tag onto bags of coffee, so you can scan it in and it'll automatically load the recipe into the machine. That, to me, is genius. It's similar to the profiles with Cappuccino, with the idea of having roasters load their own profiles into the app, but you don't need to do anything in theory with this other than to scan the tag. You literally buy a bag of chocolate brownie blend or other Seaworks coffee beans, but you just get your bag and scan it on the RFID tag, and the ratio, grind size, brew temperature is all done for it. Well, it'll tell you what grind size to adjust it to. Hopefully, Seaworks are going to be one of the first to have RFID tags for this. Hopefully. Watch this space. What's the retention like? There is some retention. It doesn't seem to be huge though. From my very scientific testing involving jamming bellows onto the top that don't quite fit and just hitting it, it appears to be about a gram. So I think we can call that low retention. What do I like about it? Where do I start? The main thing I like about this is how high they've set the bar for other integrated grinder machines. At this kind of price, I think this will get the attention of all other manufacturers who are already making or thinking of launching a more premium integrated grinder machine aimed at the home barista market. The grind by weight and the stop by weight, I think, makes this amazingly convenient. This isn't bells and whistles, this is real time-saving convenience. I think the steam wand is epic, the milk texture it produces is brilliant, and again it's ultra convenient. Just set the temperature, slap the jug down and press start, or do it manually, just as easy. The interface is mega simple to use. The huge number of potential heat-up schedules I think is great. I think the fact it toggles through Ristretto, Espresso and Lungo on the screen as a shot is pulling is really clever. Although they're all espresso, so to be technically correct, it should probably say Ristretto, Normale and Lungo if we're splitting hairs. Enjoying this review and thinking how can you support this channel? Thanks for asking. If you look just down here, you'll see subscribe. That's wrong. To fix it, just give it a click and make it change to say subscribed. Ta! Joking apart, subscribing doesn't necessarily mean you'll see all of my videos on your home screen. That's not quite how YouTube works. But when you subscribe to a channel, it costs you nothing and it just tells YouTube that the channel is relevant and worth suggesting to others. So if you want me to be able to continue to create these videos, please support the channel by doing this and also by clicking the like button and commenting. Cheers! If you wanted to support the channel even more, we now have memberships available, which gives you the status of official coffee botherer for just $1.99 a month. You'll also get access to videos, early access to videos, members-only content, members shoutouts, and more. If you're already a member, stay to the end of this video and you might find that you're famous. What don't I like about it? I'm having to put a fair amount of effort in to lock the portafilter into the group. Meraki have said that this should get better over time, so it could just be that I need to be more patient, but they've also told me they're improving this with a new version of the portafilter. The on button sometimes behaves a bit weird. Sometimes I only need to tap it gently and it turns on. Sometimes a solid press doesn't turn it on and I have to press and hold it. I've only had this happen once, but for about 20 minutes while doing some of the testing, it kept telling me that the water tank wasn't installed, only when I was trying to dispense hot water. It would do everything else, but it wouldn't dispense hot water. In the end, I did the old turn it off and turn it back on again trick, and it's been fine since. If you're steaming milk manually while the shot is pulling, the milk temperature disappears after the shot finishes. So you then have to tap OK on the screen to be able to see the temperature again. It makes sense to have the milk temperature stay on the screen. The grind setting on the screen often doesn't quite tie in with the numbers on the physical dial. Not a big deal. It's usually only 1 or 2 out. Being able to have the time and date sync automatically via Wi-Fi is great, but the time was an hour off. It hadn't allowed for daylight saving. I sorted that, but it was a bit more fiddly than I'd expect. I think it's a shame you can't plumb it in. It has a rotary pump, so I'd expect to be able to plumb it in. It's a shame that you can't control the pump with the brew paddle, as you can with the Elite Bianca, for example. It's a rotary pump machine, and it's clever, so I can't think why they wouldn't be able to do that. Okay. I really like the 2-in-1 portafilter, but the splitter has fallen off a few times. Who is this for? On the surface, this suffers a similar perception problem to the Decent Espresso machine I reviewed a few weeks ago, and there's right there next to me, and I think it have said reviewed and I meant reviewed, is that it may seem that it's only for the more serious home barista, but I think it's for anyone who wants great espressos and espresso-based drinks, whether or not they're into coffee as a hobby. There's really not much more for the user to do than with a fully automatic bean to cup machine other than move the portafilter around and knock it out into the knockbox. But the cup quality this will deliver versus most automatic machines is on another level. If you're someone who wants to do the full home barista thing, but there are others who need to be able to use it, who just want convenience, I think this is perfect for both. Literally, the only thing you'd have to do with this versus a bean to cup machine is this. You have to go like that. And then like that. Oops. And then after you've pulled the shot, you have to go like that. Other than that, to me this is like more convenient than most bean to cup machines. How does it compare to other machines? I've heard people comparing it to the Decent, but it's not a profiling machine. I've got the DE1 XXL right there, and this is absolutely nothing like the DE1. I just can't see that comparison. There are people comparing it to the Ninja Luxe, but I think these are different machines for different people. Really, I think the Ninja Luxe is for anyone who'd like a Starbucks in the kitchen, and I think the Meraki is more for people who prefer an indie coffee shop in the kitchen. Very different drinks menu. I think the most obvious comparison is the Sage or Breville Oracle Touch and Oracle Jet, and probably whatever the next machine they've got up their sleeves, as they're always working on something. This is about £300 or $400 cheaper than the Oracle Jet. It's similar in various ways, but it has grind by weight and the integrated brew scales with stop by weight, which I think makes this very strong competition for the Jet. In theory, the Jet has a barista assistant going for it, but in practice, I don't think it really works yet, as I've said in previous videos. I'm not saying this is better than the Oracle Jet. There are pros and cons for both, but what I am saying is that the Meraki is very strong competition. I will do a side-by-side comparison in the near future, and I think it'll be a really interesting one. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it when it's published.
I did see something green though.
Kermit the Frog.
Like the new, like purple, like red hot max. But what is this? I can guess what that is.
It looks like a muddy traffic light.
You taking the pistachio?
Oh. It's only gentlemanlike.
Ooh. Sure, you mean
And where's this? Whatever, it's Wally to me. Just
Wally. We are one organism.
Yeah, that's really good.
I like it.
Yep.
Pistachio latte. There is an iced version of it as well.
I'm going for another 9. I'm feeling great
Another
today.
9?
Yeah, I'm just feeling great.
I'm going to
Feeling
go 6.
Cool.
See ya.
Ta-ta. Thank you very much for watching, and a special thank you to all the new channel members. If you want to join the fun, click the join button, which is down here somewhere. So if you enjoy watching my content, please subscribe and like and comment and stuff. Ta. Another way to subscribe is to click on my face. Tatty Bye.